Special Investigative Report, the Recording Academy's 2026 Dilemma. As the 2026 awards season officially gets, a massive shift is occurring behind the closed doors of the Recording Academy. In late 2025, the organization announced a historic expansion, inviting over 3,800 new members into its voting body to radically diversify the pool. This new class is remarkably younger, with 50% under the age of 39, and for the first time, invitations were extended to all Latin Recording Academy voters. This move was intended to ensure that music's biggest night reflects the actual global landscape of modern sound. However, this diversification has created an unexpected legislative crisis for the Academy's traditionalists. By bringing in thousands of independent-minded creators, the Academy has inadvertently opened the door for outliers who don't follow the major label playbook. The internal tension is palpable as the old guard realizes that their traditional block voting strategies may no longer hold the same weight. This isn't just a change in demographics. It is a fundamental threat to the way the industry has operated for decades. Journalists on the ground are describing this as a civil war between the status and a new generation of voters who value authenticity over corporate marketing. But even with this massive push for diversity, the Academy now faces a specific, undeniable challenge. How do they handle the unprecedented surge of a rebel artist who refuses to play by their rules? At the center of this 2026 industry storm is Jordan, a 20-year-old artist who has systematically dismantled the traditional path to success. After a high-profile exit from Republic Records in late 2024, many predicted her career would fade without major label support. Instead, she chose a path of radical independence, releasing a staggering amount of original music through her family-run label. Her Strategic Secret trilogy, consisting of the Soul, Star, and Love albums, has completely bypassed the slow, controlled rollout typically favored by industry executives. This prolific output has allowed her to maintain a constant, direct connection with her grassroots, forcing the streaming algorithms to recognize her as a global powerhouse. From a reporting standpoint, her ability to generate hundreds of millions of streams without a corporate marketing budget is a logistical miracle. She has proven that in the digital age, a visionary artist can effectively fire the middleman and still dominate the cultural conversation. Major labels are reportedly watching her metrics with intense anxiety, fearing that a successful independent sweep at the Grammys would prove their entire business model is obsolete. While the labels were left stunned by her defiance, what she did next in the city of Las Vegas would force the Academy to acknowledge her as more than just a digital viral trend. The definitive turning point for her 2026 legitimacy occurred on January 31 at the International Theater within the Las Vegas. By performing on the same hallowed stage where once held his legendary Residency, sent a clear message to the Recording Academy. She is a live performer who belongs among the icons. Reporters attending the sold-out show described the energy as transcendent, with viral clips of her performance of Unchained Melody, sparking a global social media frenzy. This wasn't just a concert. It was a high-stakes demonstration of vocal mastery and stage presence that major labels usually spend years trying to manufacture. The success of this Residency has effectively silenced critics who claimed she was merely a studio creation or a niche jazz specialist. By selling out one of the most famous theaters in the world as an independent artist, she has created a metric of success that the Academy simply cannot ignore. This performance has forced voters to see her as a credible contender for the top categories, bridging the gap between social media popularity and technical excellence. But even with a sold-out Residency and a massive international following, the path to a Grammy win remains blocked by a complicated web of industry politics and lobbying. The technicalities of the 2026 Grammy eligibility have become a major point of contention within the Academy's secret committees. Its most recent album, Secret of Love, was released on March 6, 2026, placing it right in the middle of a complex voting window. While some insiders argue she is the clear for the 2027 cycle, others believe her momentum from early 2026 is so strong that she could be a late entry shocker for the 68th Annual Awards. This eligibility debate has led to accusations surfacing regarding the Academy's often opaque rules on career longevity and new artist status. After a decade in the public eye, the question of whether she is still technically a new artist has become a paradox that the Academy must solve. To her fans, the technicalities don't matter. They see a generational talent who has been overlooked for far too long. To the Academy, however, her independent status creates a paperwork nightmare, as she doesn't have a label's legal department to navigate the complex submission process. While the Academy debates the fine print of their eligibility rules, a growing movement on social media is preparing to hold the entire institution accountable for their final decision. Our investigative team has uncovered reports of intense behind-the-scenes lobbying from the major label Old Guard. There is a deep-seated fear among high-level executives that a Jordan sweep would devalue the role of the traditional label system. If a 20-year-old can win Album of the Year and Best New Artist without their backing, it proves that labels are no longer the gatekeepers of greatness. Consequently, major corporations are reportedly pouring millions into for your consideration campaigns for their own flagship stars, attempting to drown out the organic buzz surrounding independent movement. This corporate resistance isn't just about trophies. It is about protecting a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure that relies on controlling the narrative of stardom. Reporters have noted that the tension within the Academy has reached a dangerous boiling point, as progressive voters fight against the influence of corporate donors. Yet, even with millions of dollars in corporate pushback, the labels are finding it impossible to compete with the endorsement of the most influential legends in music history. A key and undeniable factor that makes the Academy's dilemma so difficult is the level of high-level mentorship has secured on her own. Her long-term collaboration with Grammy-winning producer Gad and the enduring legacy of the late Quincy Jones serves as a golden ticket that major labels simply cannot buy. Quincy famously called her one of the greatest talents in the world, and in 2026, his endorsement still carries more weight than any corporate PR campaign. This mentorship has provided her with a level of technical polish and industry insight that is usually reserved for the elite. It makes it impossible for the Academy to dismiss her as a tick-viral trend or a passing internet sensation. She has bridged the gap between old-school soul and modern digital production, creating a sound that is both timeless and cutting-edge. By studying under the masters, she has sharpened her artistic weapons in a way that rivals even the most seasoned veterans. With the backing of legends and the support of millions, the focus is now shifting toward the public referendum occurring across global social media platforms. From a reporting perspective, the phenomenon is a fascinating study in global versus domestic metrics. In 2026, her original music has reached #1 in multiple international territories, yet she remains a strictly independent artist within the United States market. This created a paradox for the Recording Academy. How do you ignore an artist who is a household name in Europe and Asia, but refuses to sign with an American major label? Her massive international airplay proves that her sound has universal appeal, yet the US industry continues to treat her as an outlier. This disconnect has led to speculations arise regarding the rigged nature of the American award system. Fans point to her dominance on global streaming charts as proof that she belongs on the Grammy stage, while domestic executives argue that she hasn't paid her dues in the US radio circuit. As the debate over global metrics continues, the public's frustration is boiling over into a coordinated movement that could permanently damage the Grammys' reputation. The 2026 awards cycle has been marked by an unprecedented level of public scrutiny, fueled by fan-led movements on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. A rigged narrative has begun to take hold among younger audiences who believe the Grammys are a closed shop for major labels. Has become the face of this movement, representing every independent artist who has been overlooked by the system. Fan-made investigative videos comparing her vocal talent to major label nominees have garnered hundreds of millions of views, putting immense public pressure on the Recording Academy to be transparent. This social media referendum is something the Academy has never faced on this scale before. It is no longer just about the quality of the music. It is about the perceived integrity of the entire institution. While the public demands transparency, the Academy's secret committees are reportedly in a state of gridlock over how to move forward without causing a total industry collapse. Regardless of the final Grammy outcome, the phenomenon has already redefined the future of the independent super artist. In 2026, she has proven that a creator can maintain total ownership of their masters, control their own brand, and still achieve global superstar status. This is the ultimate dilemma for the Recording Academy. By acknowledging her, they are legitimizing a path that leads away from their traditional corporate partners. Has become a lighthouse for other independent artists, showing them that the old rules no longer apply. This shift is not a temporary trend. It is a permanent evolution of the music business. The Academy is now forced to choose between supporting the dying label system or embracing the independent future. This choice will define their legacy for the next decade. As we approach the final reveal of the winners, the world is waiting with held breath to see if the industry will finally embrace the change or fight to the bitter end. As we wrap up our special report on the eve of the 2026 Grammy announcement, the stakes truly couldn't be any higher for the music world. If the Recording Academy chooses to crown Jordan, it will signal a permanent and irreversible change in how art is rewarded. It would prove once and for all that an artist can survive legal drama, security threats, and a total exit from the corporate system to reach the absolute summit of success. Whether she takes home the gold or is once again, the conversation around her talent has already changed the world forever. She has proven that authenticity is the loudest voice in the room, and that the public will always find a way to support a creator who remains true to their vision. We will be watching with bated breath as the first envelope is opened to see if the industry has the courage to crown a rebel. The world is watching. Will the Recording Academy finally admit that the Jordan phenomenon is too big to ignore? Or will they strike back in one last show of corporate force?